until the referendum vote in 2016, I, for one, would never imagined that the British people would have been so easy to sell snake oil to. Then on comes Nigel Farage, Michael Gove with his stories about his father, and Jacob Rees-Mogg and his happy fish. Anyway, why happy's built the old like pun. You see, Brexit has, well, decimated the seafood industry in the United Kingdom. And now, according to Seafish CEO Marcus Coleman, well, he said that the UK seafood industry is actually seeing signs of recovery, but is still 1 billion down. 1.2 billion euros down. Behind where it was in 2019. Now, see, the thing is, to increase your ability to fish, obviously you need the fish, but also you need the means to fish them. Now, there is the Kirkella that pretty much cleans up regarding the UK's allotted fish from Norway and places like that. But the little guys, they are still in a pretty bad way. Now, many of them took the compensation payments, which meant they had to cut up their boats, literally destroy the boats. They had to cut them up and show proof that those boats were destroyed. It's such a waste, you know? So the idea we're going to increase that anytime soon without building new boats is for the birds. Unless the fishermen get very, very lucky in their catch. But then you still need a market to sell it to. Unfortunately for the fishermen, their market is much smaller now and more complicated. Red tape and all that, you know. It's quite sad to see, you know. It's quite sad to see coastal communities being literally, decimated. And it's their undoing. Are we supposed to feel sorry for them? No, I don't feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the country. I feel sorry for their children. It's quite sad, really. And, you know, fishing communities, those fishermen, they went out in all blooming weathers, you know. All weathers, risking their lives. For not much recompense, really, to be honest, for what they're doing. You know, they're already weathered, big time, you know. But they seem to love what they did. Bring the fish back to port and go to the merchants, and the merchants would auction the fish off. Unfortunately, a lot of them are closed. And one particular merchant that was headed by, owned by Ian Perks, and he was used, by Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson, you know, as an advocate, as a poster boy for the Brexit. He was used. And he admits it now. And when asked, would I vote for Brexit again, he said no. Why would I vote against my own best interests? He admits it now. But do they all? Probably not. Are they still clinging on? Probably. The things are going to get better, you know. Maybe when you get your 12-mile range back and stuff like that, you know, foreign fishermen coming into your waters. But that might not happen, you see. Part of this so-called reset plan of Keir Starmer, the local fishermen might get sold off again. Sold off down the river again. Out to sea. Nothing's going to improve regarding the fishermen. You know, the live bivalve mollusk fishermen, they've pretty much done it, decimated. Since they've lost their market, they can't sell to the EU now as they were before. Since they have to be depurated before they enter the port. Some of the fishermen, some of the bivalve mollusk fishermen, such as the oysters and mussels and what have you, they are actually, they're dropping their catch off direct now if they're able to do that. Not all fishermen can actually do that. Just to get it in the market quick enough, otherwise the fish be rotten. Sitting too long, you see, in port. Waiting to be cleared. All the phytosanitary checks and that. And every load costs around, you know, every consignment costs about €600 just to get it through. And then they get rejected for whatever reason. The risk is too high. And when things are getting bought at auction, the money is already spent. on that fish. The fishermen are still going to get paid, and so is so is the fish merchant. But those who are actually distributing the fish, another merchant along the way, another middleman, they won't get paid if it's get rejected. Huge amounts of money just lost. Well, they can't sustain that, you see. No. So the idea that's ever going to recover anytime soon is for the birds. It just isn't going to happen. That's quite sad. That is, And it's quite sad to think that whole communities will actually vote against their best interests. And it's surprising that they don't really understand their own industry and what the purpose of the common fisheries policy actually was for. It was to protect the fishermen, all the fishermen in the EU. No, they will disagree with that. They'll say they're coming over here, stealing all our fish and what have you. I suppose you could have done the same. Chose not to. Remember, the fish that we fish around the coastal waters of the UK, oily fish generally, maybe pollock and that as well, but big cod and that, they are the deeper waters, Nordic waters and what have you, further afield, It's the kind of fish that we eat in the UK. Not all this oily fish, no. Not the mussels, not the oysters, we're not big on it. Not as a population, no, not like the French are, for instance, or other EU countries. You literally cut yourself off from your customers. Well, stupid is as stupid does. Anyway, you tell me. Please leave it in the comments down below. Should we feel sorry for them, the fishermen? I kind of do in some ways. In other ways, it just reminds myself how much vitriol was coming out of their mouths as a whole. They didn't all vote for Brexit, obviously. Some of them did understand their industry, but, surprisingly, many did not. Anyway, please beat the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel and the bell icon, because then you get one face in your pocket every time I upload another video, you see? Oh dear. Anyway, we're doing rewilding there in France, some positive, where we're planting trees on this piece of land over here, but also over there. And we've done about 550 odd trees. We're doing about 1,000 to 1,500 trees. And if you want a tree, your name on with a sign or all that, it could be in memory of your loved one or a pet, Christmas present even. Anyway, links down below. Toodaloo.